All right. And and thank you yet again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, far and wide. Welcome to yet another installment in the RTP, the Rarely Typical Players Podcast. I am your host, One Man Indy, also known as Zal, but it's not about me today. It's about these brothers that are here with me. I have D7, the originator and the creator of the podcast, Dark Man Gaming.
Yo, what's up, peoples?
I have Doug, whom I affectionately call the Machine over at Cychronic Games.
More like a cyborg, but yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And last, but certainly not least, our favorite German, the inspiration of RPG Maker game creation for his generation and his nation, SG Harlequin.
I'm good. How's it going, guys?
Okay. So now, today we have come together to discuss this game. I think a lot of us had a pretty good reaction to, and it was Our Dying World by The Real Trine, and The Real Trine is actually down here in the chat as well. Thank you everybody else who's coming and who also will be coming in. So now we're gonna go through our initial reactions to it, our thoughts to it first, and then we'll go from there. So I'll start off with Harlequin. What's your initial thoughts on the game?
Me first? Oh my god.
Sorry, brother.
I mean, it's a pretty good game. What can I say?
That was the most timid. I don't know. It's pretty good.
It's kind of hard to say anything for the initial impression. I mean, the initial impression is pretty good. It's a pretty well-made game. I have some complaints, and I found quite a bit of bugs for considering how long it's been in development. But other than that, it's pretty good.
All right. And now we got Doug. What's your initial impressions of it, good brother?
I thought that the game was presented pretty professionally. I liked the menus. I did like the presentation of it. So the video, like even the video when you first open it up, it looks really good. I felt like the story was kind of a slow burn. I was wondering, you know, it's called Our Dying World. I was wondering where all the dying was. It seemed filled with life. And you know, like I only made it to the part with the golem, so I don't know how. I played for about 2 hours. I don't know if it picks up after that, but I do feel like the story was a little. I didn't feel the urgency in the story, but as far as like the overall presentation of the game, it seemed pretty good. The mechanics, the battle mechanics, I liked the dragon, the animated looking. Enemies. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The gameplay felt pretty standard to me. It just felt like standard RPG Maker kind of. The mapping was good. I really liked the mapping with the and the lighting. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's got a good presentation to it. The voiceovers were decent too. They seemed like good voiceovers. Some of the drawings, the hand drawings, I felt like could be a little better for the characters. Like the one that's on what you have right here, and the title screen. This looks different than the one that I actually see in the game for these characters. So maybe it was revised at some point or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's just some rough initial thoughts from playing it.
All right. And now we go with D7. What's your initial impression of it, good brother?
I mean, it's my kind of game. I like the game. You know, I played it. I 100% the demo when it was presented to me the first time. I really enjoyed it. You know, the story, you know, it picks up after a while. You know, 2 hours to the golem. You did a lot of exploring.
I did, yeah.
Tried it. But it does pick up and tell you the meaning of Our Dying World, and just like every other game that you do play, developers, you know, they want to like kind of drag their story out before you know, getting to that critical point where you need to hook your player in. I feel like this game definitely has that in there, you know, because of the extra exploration you can do. Like you could veer off the path of, you know, what you're supposed to do and go explore and look for stuff, which can hinder that. But I mean, I really like the game. I really do, and I feel like this game, you know, can definitely see its success mark. Of course, there's things I can add, but you know, I'm pretty sure we could say that about every game that we play.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I'm that's my thoughts on the game for now until we get into a deeper discussion. So
All right. Now let me just put on the footage right now as I begin my my thoughts, my initial thoughts on the game. Initially, yeah, I thought it came out the gate strong. That opening for the game when you open it up, very well done. I don't know how he pulled it off. Viltron, salute to you, brother. I don't know how you pulled that one off, but that was nice. Also, the animated title screen, that was really nice as well. The voice acting, I liked, especially for that and how you open up the game. It definitely piques the player's interest in seeing how we get to this point where everybody's pretty much all, knocked out the frame as of what they was looking at that point. That was a good way of getting the player initially interested in what they had to offer here. I gotta agree along with Doug. Yeah, it did seem like it was a bit of a slow burn because it didn't really show any real point of conflict initially. But given how you opened it, I think that kind of made sense. If I found my man, let me just flesh this out. Because the way you set up the opening, I guess if you came too quick to showing the initial, I guess, drama that would be the driving force of the game, I guess that probably would have kind of cheapened it a little bit, because then at that particular point, maybe people would have felt, okay, well, you could have just said that was just like a cutscene in the beginning of your game instead of showing all this. So I think that I think you tried to balance that with what you had initially. So I can't really, I can only say that it kind of slowed things down a little bit, trying to get to the point, I think. But the battle I like. I thought that was a very very clever thing that you did with the boost system, especially in terms of the skills. The weakness thing at the bottom of it also was kind of funny because it almost made it kind of like a little fun little mini game. It was okay to kind of find out who is weak to what type of thing. I enjoyed that, and I liked the fact that you emphasized a great deal on the interactions between the characters. And you had actual points where that could be brought up. I thought that was very well done. I thought that was a very interesting way of doing it. And you actually emphasized the fact that depending on how you do it, could lead to consequences later on down the line. So it impressed upon the player that your actions have consequences in the game. So that should be playing right now, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up. And let's just have the conversation about it. I know Harlequin, you were putting some stuff in the chat, or in the forum for this. Also, yes, we do have forums on the RTP podcast Discord, by the way. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So if you do have a game you want to put up, or if you want to talk about the games we talk about individually, so the dev can get some feedback from them as well, feel free to do so. Sorry, wait.
Yeah, I think your footage is on pause.
No,
it's not playing.
No, that's just me. Unfortunately, I think I was in the middle of doing something at that point. I think it was either.
Oh no, I don't think so. The particles are not moving in the menu, and it says 2 seconds. It's not moving. It's not playing.
How's that the case? That's weird. Huh? It usually doesn't do that.
And yeah, I did put some stuff on the forum, but I didn't give an opinion. I just pointed out some bugs because I would potentially forget to point them out during the podcast. So I wrote them down for him so he can fix it.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I do have something. One sec, my browser's glitching out. I do have a bug that I found too. It's a small bug, but if you're on any monitor that is over 60 hertz, it won't show accurate playtime. So I'll put a link in the chat here. That plugin for Realtron will actually make it where it shows accurate playtime. It's showing that I played for 4 hours when I didn't, because my monitor is that. Even if I have the sync FPS set to on, it's actually how RPG Maker counts time by default is by the frames of the monitor, which they assume to be 60 when it's sometimes not, and that plugin will fix it.
Does that plugin do anything else? Because I could use that too.
Yeah, that's all it does.
That issue.
Yeah, that's all it does. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's good, because I'm using a different plugin. Like I'm not having a FPS sync plugin like most, because that's garbage. I'm using a different plugin that like
You don't have to worry about it. It just adjusts per.
Yeah, you can play with 144 FPS too. Like it's not slowing the game down, right?
Yep, that's how my game is too. Yeah.
Right. So I was wondering what your plugin does, because I would preferably want to use both then.
Yeah, the plugin I linked in the YouTube chat here, all it does is it makes it so that your playtime will be accurate. Yeah,
that's neat. Gonna use that right away.
Okay. I think I might do
because
that.
I have the same issue.
I think I might pick it up.
I've had the same issue before too. Also, I was seeing a little bit of the micro jitter, and again, there is a fix for that. It's in the pixie.js library file. Line of code 20,562. Change that 60 times 60 to 3600, and below that 60 times 10 to 600, and the micro jitter will go away. It happens on every RPG Maker MV game, pretty much.
Actually, let me just link your Reddit thread for that. Because I got that saved. I got that bookmarked because I needed it a couple of times already.
Okay, so D, what put in your input as well? What are the things that you noticed about the game?
There was a couple maps, that definitely didn't match, like how the houses look and stuff like that. Details, minor details, and it felt like some of the passive tiles, like you can walk over them and stuff like that. But other than that, you don't really see too much anything wrong with it. But...
Yeah, it's just that I think and Realtron, I'm not trying to say that in terms of anything else. I'm saying that I think maybe it took a little too long to get down to it. 2 hours to get to anything where you can kind of find out what the real major conflict is, like who the real big bad is. Seems a little long, but
man, I don't think it take that long. I don't think it take that long, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because it on my playthrough, I don't think it took that long. You know what I mean? I played 2 hours as well. Like I didn't do a side quest at all. Like none.
That's like if you know how the battle system work, right? Your battles could last long or it could take forever. See, I haven't seen him play the game, like any of y'all play the game, but me personally, it shouldn't take 2 hours to do the golden quest. You know what I mean?
I think it's because you played already, I believe.
Even on my first playthrough, I don't know. I have to look at the video.
Yeah.
But I know the chapters aren't that long. You know what I mean?
I played it, right? You know how I play. Like, I didn't do a single side quest. I talked to nobody. Nobody. Unless I had to. I only did main quests and I picked up some chests. I skipped a couple of fights, and I still took 2 hours until I got to the golden part.
Yeah, and I played pretty much the same way as Simple Gaming, and it still took me that long. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes 2 hours, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like I actually disagree with you guys that it picks up too slowly. what I would have liked is if I actually had a little bit more of a backstory to Max and Riker. It's probably gonna be explained during the game, like having these heart-to-heart moments.
Yeah.
But in order for me to actually care about any of the characters, I would have liked to see them, how their lives were, like shortly before the start of the game or whatever. Because right now, in the first 2 hours, all you know about Max is like, this guy wants to be an adventurer for some reason.
Yeah.
You don't get a why or a how or whatever. It's just a dude.
Yeah.
I got some complaints about the story in general. Like, I feel there are some plot holes and inconsistencies and weird stuff. And that's just within 2 hours. Like, it's a bit weird.
I think, and I don't want to say that I don't understand. I understand what he's trying to do. I understand it because the story is basically mostly about the relationship between these characters and whatever's going to be coming down the line. So maybe what I'm trying to say is that maybe it's not that I have an issue with maybe at the 2 hours to it. It just seems like maybe there's not enough connective tissue, as it were, to kind of put things together, I guess. To make that 2 hours.
Whose turn is it anyway? Isn't it 37's turn?
In
depth.
I was in the middle of talking and everybody kind of they just kung fu fighting. I'm like, okay, no mind.
It's hard to wait your turn when you have to when you want to respond to a specific point you're just making. Because if I wait 10 minutes until I can respond to what you said,
let me get this out, man. Let me get it out. Come on, man. Let me get it out. Don't stop holding me back, man. All right, so what I'm saying is I think I kind of agree with what you were saying a little bit in terms of the story. That I think the 2 hours to get to the actual drama of the story probably wouldn't have felt so long if there were more connection between and establishing of the motivation behind Riker and Max. And I think that could have been filled in that 2 hour time period as well with the interactions and the cutscenes. And that probably would have maybe not completely solved it, but I think it would have given enough maybe distraction so that a person doesn't notice these type of things. Because now you're actually establishing what the character is, what they are, their interactions one with another. And I think that would have, I guess, covered it enough so it didn't feel like that, if that makes sense. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
That could cover it, but I feel like the story is kind of weird. Like you start out right, you start in that starting city, and you must go to the guild to become an adventurer. All right, so far so good, right? So you go there, and then there's this weird cut. Like you finish this quest, right, and all of a sudden you just became an adventurer. You're literally level 3, right? And now you're just meeting this angel guy and are on a quest to save the world. Like, how does that make any sense? Like this angel guy, what was his name again? Ashton, right? Ashton could have picked anybody to help him. Anybody. Like, this dude is already strong, even with the curse thing, right? It just so happens he picks the most 2 noob adventurers he could find in order to help him save the world for some reason. Like, why did he even sign up as an adventurer? This guy is supposedly, like, according to the guild magical rating, which is kind of weird to me as well, he's much stronger than those 2 guys. Why does he register? Why not just enter the dungeon or use your fucking wings to fly up the mountain and grab that dagger? What do you need to be an adventurer?
Well, that was explained though. I remember that part. It was explained because it's the guild or whatever that manages that cave or that dungeon or whatever, and so he went under kind of false pretenses to be an adventurer so that he could get access, and then that's what gives him access to the grave to get the dagger.
But what's stopping him from just flying up there?
Well, yeah, I mean, true.
What's stopping him from just going inside? Like, there's a single lady
Everything. Like,
Man,
you gotta rewrite now. You gotta rewrite your story.
man, that was just such a weird cut. Like, why does the story start at that point? Why can I think Ashton was introduced too early for the story to make any sense. Like, at least let me get like one adventurer rank up, so that the character have like at least some experience being an adventurer, being in combat and whatnot. No, he shows up for the adventurer entry test and asks you to save the world on level 3. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Draw the game up with fetch quests. And
No. Start the game at an earlier point. Like, let me experience like a day or two of Max life with Riker, right? Like, how are those two related? And what did they do back in the day and whatnot? Let me experience like 1 or 2 days of that, and then you can make a cut to the day of the test. So now I'm introduced better to the main characters. I know the relationship.
I see what you're saying. So basically, you're saying is, don't give us the critical story point quest as the first quest. Give us
it's weird
to show that we are worthy of taking the entry, the test to become official.
Yeah. Let me get some background experience before I'm going off saving the world, because what it does is we're level 3 and we're now on the urgent quest to saving the world. Like, tomorrow could be the day nobody can reproduce anymore. But there's no urgency in the game. Like, you just go off and do some side quests if you want to. There's no urgency. But the quest is made urgent. So why is it the first thing we're getting into? Like, that's kind of weird to me. Like, I feel the encounter with Ashton and that angel guy should have been later, and not the first thing you experience in the game.
Okay.
I could agree.
I see what you're saying. So
it's supposed to be kind of a climax, right? But it's not really, because it's the first thing you see, basically.
So you would have preferred if it came to much, say, like, after maybe an adventure or two, after they actually had a chance to actually maybe power up a little bit and everything else like that, instead of meeting him initially at the trial, maybe say they met him maybe after like
let me do like a trial, let me do a dungeon or two, let me rank up, like let me at least get one rank up in the guild, so I have experienced like what the world is about, what is the adventure life about. Because we're not really adventurers anymore, I feel, because we're now saving the world on level 3, right? So I'm not really an adventurer. I'm not really introduced to the characters. I don't know why they became adventurers or why they just agreed to save the world for some reason on level 3. I don't know what's going on in their mind, because if I was an rookie adventurer that literally just passed the test, and some angel dude came around telling me about saving the world, I would nope the fuck out of there. Right? Like, dude, I'm level 3. I can't save the world. Get the fuck out of here. So look for somebody strong.
Yeah.
It's
when you're right,
He's making sense. I can't argue with him this time on that. It does make sense on terms of introducing your characters. But my playthrough of the game, I didn't go straight to the guild hall. I went off, so I was able to experience the players, like the battle system stuff, early on hand. But I do see what you mean. Like, we could have like little backstory moments for Max and Riker. How are they friends? How they came to be and stuff like that. So
at least a little bit.
It definitely makes a lot of sense when you come to trying to build your characters, especially Max.
Yeah, don't make the initial introduction of your characters shouldn't be like optional content. I feel like at least give me a cutscene. If you don't want to do like before the actual gameplay, give me at least a cutscene where I can see how Max and Riker relate to each other.
But
all I know is like Max is a wimp who runs his mouth too much, and Riker is an edgelord who has a little bit more power than Max. But that's all I know about the character.
Edgelord, what the heck, man? See? But
That's all I know, and I'm sure the game would explain it to me. I'm 100% certain that that's why he has these heart-to-heart moments, right? So they can reminisce about the past and whatnot. But you should get some of that in front of the game so I can actually care about your characters.
But Will Black made a good point. He said you get more backstory and interaction, but the trade-off is that other players would just say, "Get me to the story already."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, of course.
You know how people play the game, and the backstory is just so it just go off for so long, and people get bored, and what they do is just start skipping until they get to the point where they want to be. I could say for this because I have completed the game. I know, more about the back characters of Max and Riker. It is definitely explained as you play on. But in terms of Ashton saying that he's an angel, he doesn't reveal it right off the bat. He just
almost
as a. In all fairness, y'all saying it takes 2 hours to get to the summit to fight the gold.
I don't mind at all. Like
in my opinion,
the game was fun enough.
That's enough time to experience the game, learn mechanics, and get the gist of the backstory. Because it can actually be longer than that, if you explore. Problem. So it can drag on. So 2 hours is a blessing if you think about it, and get to the point like, oh man, he's a freaking angel, and even with his power level, there's stronger sins out there. Then we got to get the weapons and all that stuff. Like, I think it makes sense. Like, that's enough time. 2 hours with the climax in the game. That's enough time, man. That's enough time. Y'all, I don't understand. Y'all crazy, bro.
I don't know, man. I don't even care about the time that went by. Like, the only time where I care if something takes too long is if I'm not having fun. So that was not the case here. I had fun exploring the dungeon.
Fun?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I really liked the level design in this game, even though I'm not so sure why, but I think it's designed very well. You always have these like little sideways that are hidden, but not too hidden. So you can always see them, right? And you run around, you zoom around the map. Here's a chest, there's a chest, there's a chest. Yeah, man, that's great. It looks good. It's well designed. And I didn't mind the battle, but I didn't have much fun with the battle itself. Like I felt it was a little bit cluttered. It's not really a concise system. I feel like it feels to me like it's just a bunch of plugins thrown together. Like you have the boost plugin, which is, I believe, what was it? What is it? Victor engine? I don't know. And then you got the weapon, the swappable weapons. And you got the default fucking elemental weakness system, which is always weird because what it did for me is that I only used Max to spam the fucking find weakness skill. I did nothing else with him because why would I? I just unlocked all the weaknesses I could. I didn't use Max for anything else.
Speaking of which, I have a really good plugin for Realtron here. I noticed that the bows didn't shoot any arrows, or it was like an instantaneous shot. This plugin can be used for a lot of really cool stuff. The Victor engine, throwable objects, and so you can throw an arrow and you can throw like little items to each other. If you're like in battle. So I would really suggest using that. If you have like a shuriken, you can make it go to the enemy and back again. Like it's a really good plugin. So I'd recommend that Tron check that out.
Yeah. I'm and according to what Riggy said, it's not visually too much. Like I was disappointed at the action sequencing in this game. Like that's a real letdown. Like the combat looks RPG Maker, right? Like aside from the Dragon Bones animations, the idle animations only, it looks RPG Maker. Like the only thing that's going on is the enemy walking towards you and giving you a bite, and that's pretty much it. Like that's the only action sequences you're gonna get in this game in 2 hours at least. So that was a letdown.
2 hours at least.
And I mean, the system is easy to understand. It's not like hard to learn or anything, but it's not really like it's not concise. It's just a whole bunch of random features that are just there for being there. Like it's not really anything that goes into each other. I feel like you can boost, sure. I mean, that's nice, I guess. It's a free boost every 2 turns, and that's about it. That's all it does.
I find fault with the boost mechanic though, because if you know how to use the boost mechanic correctly with the weakness,
absolutely, yep,
you'll kill these bosses. You'll wreck these bosses so easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it takes the challenge out.
What does the boost mechanic do? I don't really know.
It's pretty much a multiplier. Like for example, in this game, each boost that you get is a 200% multiplier. So if you use 2 boosts, it's 400% multiplier. 3 boosts is 600%. So if you're doing, if you got an enemy stun, right? If you got an enemy stun, he's automatically getting critical. You know what I'm saying? So if he's weak to fire, and you boost 3 boosts, that's 600% damage included, plus critical on the boss. So you're doing
it's not challenging at all.
You kill him quick. You kill him quick.
Yeah, it's easy to learn. Like it's not complicated or convoluted or confusing or anything. It's easy to understand. But I don't know. It just feels kind of random.
It's more what Jeff is saying. I mean, Will Black saying. He said it's pretty much
almost.
If you play Octopath.
Yeah, I haven't. I have no idea how Octopath Traveler works.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's you got the boost. It has the boost mechanic. It has the enemy reveal weakness. That's pretty much where all that came from.
Oh crap!
Yeah, well, that's right. Also pretty much RPG Maker standard. Like those fucking elemental weaknesses. Everybody has that. Everybody and their mom has that reveal plugin in their game. Like my goodness, I'm so sick of seeing it.
Everybody and their mama has.
Man, it's true though. Everybody has that plugin. Everybody who's doing elemental weaknesses has that stupid ass reveal plugin, and I'm so sick of seeing it.
I don't really see it much.
I mean, the comic was fun enough.
That's about it. I just see
that. I don't know, man. It's fun enough though. I'm not hating it. I'm not skipping all the battles. It's good enough for me to fight the battle if I run into one. Like it is not too bad. Like it's okay to use. It wasn't really challenging. I didn't really have to think much or anything because I'm just gonna reveal the weakness. Because why should I take a guess when I can just freely reveal 2 weaknesses on every enemy? Why would I guess the weakness? Why would I hope for a lucky weakness? I can just reveal it.
Scale it to 1. Scale it to 1 weakness reveal instead of 2.
That would make the skill useless because in that case I can just attack and hope that I hit the weakness anyway.
I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes you just
I don't know.
If you just attack and don't know what the weakness is, you're just going to get frustrated at some point, unless you're going to try to just throw everything at the wall. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what you do in most games. That's just what you do. You just attack and hope that somebody has the weakness. And I guarantee you, every enemy has at least 1 weakness to every character.
Some games don't even tell you they're weak against it. It just says.
I mean, I don't like the entire system of it. I'm an adversary for get rid of these fucking weaknesses, but that's just me. To me, it felt like somebody went into the combat plugin store and just picked a few things that looked cool and threw them all into one combat system. That's how the combat system felt to me. Like, there's a bunch of cool features, but they all kind of random. That's how I felt about the combat system.
Okay. Oh, okay. I I personally did like it. Actually, I thought the way that I hadn't played Octopath Traveler, so. But now that I think about it, I've seen people do Let's Plays of it, and now that I think about it, I think I can see where a lot of people are drawing that inspiration from. I do have to say, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a great feature. Can't deny that, though.
Yeah. I do have to say that the icon for like the sword and or the spear weren't quite clear enough. I gotta agree.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the Discord too. Like, what the hell is an icon?
And you brought it because I was saying the exact same thing. As I was thinking that you were trying to go with pierce, like the type of damage. Okay, so they're weak to piercing damage because a sword can pierce. But then when I looked at it again, I was like, okay, that does look like a sword, kind of, sorta. So I see. So one enemy is weak to slash, another enemy is weak to pierce, another enemy is weak to chop, that type of thing. So it took a little while, but I think once you've gotten used to it, it's fairly intuitive for you to figure out. I think it's pretty easy to figure out once you've done it.
I thought the visibility was very bad on some of these icons, like the weakness display for the maze. I could barely even see that it's a maze because I only could recognize a stick on the icon on the enemy. Like, it's very small and the visibility is pretty low because of the various like battle bags, right? The icon is pretty dark, and if you got an earth-like battle bag, you're not gonna see jank on that shit.
I agree with you. I agree.
So
on that one.
Yeah, and as I said, like the sword icon for Max, that's not a sword, that's a stick. Maybe a spear, if I'm like really generous, but that's not a sword.
I'm really generous.
I'm done. Yeah.
So I don't know. I was confused. Like, is he having a spear too? But no, the character pulls out a sword. But how is that a sword? I was confused a couple of battles until I figured it out. It just looks weird, but it is what it is. Right? It's all right. I just wish they had more action sequences and better looking action sequences, because like it's cool that you have Dragonbone enemies, at least for some of them, and you're just not using it really. Like they have a little motion, but it's pretty much the same as just like move enemy target front and motion swing. That's all it is, and that's kind of boring.
I personally, when I played it, I didn't really have the issue with it. I thought the Dragonbones actually made it look cool. Now I guess.
Yeah. They do, but it's not all enemies though. They not all enemies are Dragonbone enemies.
Which ones are?
You can see it.
I know the
bees are, the hornets are, the slimes are not, and the bats are not.
The slimes and the bats.
You can see it in the animation. If you look at the enemy and there's just a 3-frame idle animation, that's not a Dragonbone enemy.
Okay, then I must.
Pretty sure.
I didn't get that far. I was just basically doing a whole bunch of exploring. You're going to see it in the footage. I was doing a lot of exploring.
Yeah, me too, man. It's like the only game I actually explored shit because it was easy, right? It wasn't like I didn't have to rack my brain where to find shit. I could just glance at the hidden in quotes hidden path on the side and whatnot. The chests were hidden, but not really. So I really enjoyed exploring the maps because treasure was just always around the corner.
Yeah.
I didn't have to solve 20 fucking minutes of puzzles to get to a chest that gives me 20 gold, right?
Yeah,
so that was fun, and the maps look good.
Yeah,
so
the maps definitely.
I think that's the strongest part of the game. Actually, for me, it was the best part, and the voice acting. I didn't actually skip any dialogue because I didn't have to read it. The voice acting is good, so I just let the dialogue play. Maybe that's why I took 2 hours to get to the golem, but who cares?
Okay.
But I would definitely say this game definitely rewards the mapping. Definitely rewards exploration. I will definitely say that, because it's almost like kind of like it's calling you to do it. Like, hey, why don't you just settle down for a second. Just chill out for a second. Just explore a little bit. No, don't worry about it. We'll get to the story. Just look around for a little bit. See what you can find. Look at all the goodies we got here. See, you got some money over here. You got some reagents over here. You got some stamina over here. Take your time, baby. Take your time. It's about the journey.
And I like how the equipment just points out the the parameter is going to increase.
Yes.
Instead of just showing everything else, it's just focused on like the defense and evade. It's just focused on that, what's going to increase it, not the other like attack or defense or speed. So that's a pretty good little feature right there. To shell out the other stats.
And I wish they didn't remove the optimize button, man. I hate equipping a party of characters, man. I fucking hate it. Give me my optimize button back.
I was kind of missing the optimize a little bit, but I was like, you know what, maybe this just means I have to be a little bit more cognizant of how I'm equipping my characters. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, it was a small thing, but I kind of wish it was there. But okay, he's over here summoning someone in German. Anyway, she's and I wish.
I can't say that. Wow.
I think even missing that, I think it still was the menu. The menu I definitely liked too. The menu was definitely different. It was the icons were a little bit bigger.
Sniffing that stuff.
It's Harlequin, man. He hitting that hookah. He hitting the hookah. That's what he's doing.
You about to use the whole thing in one pop.
Man, I need my substances, or else I could not handle this podcast, my dude. Oh, speaking about the fucking menu, and I really hated how I could not press the left button and cycle through the menu. If you need anything on the right side, you always gotta spam the fucking D button to get there. Let me cycle in both directions of the fucking menu, right? In the main menu. Like if I wanted crafting, I gotta press like the right arrow key 8 times until I get to the fucking crafting menu.
And you only do the crafting when you have the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I was trying to do crafting, but I guess you got to have a book first before you can do it, I guess. Because
I was surprised too. I thought she gave you that book, but apparently I guess you gave it back or some shit. I don't know. I had to buy a new one.
Yeah, that's what got me. I was like, man, why can't I do potions?
Man, I did the first dungeon with no potions because I thought I could just craft some, but no, I didn't have a book anymore. So I had 0 potions in that dungeon, man.
So I guess what happens here is you gotta I guess use a book every time you craft, and then I guess
you just buy a book and you have the recipes. It doesn't like consume or anything. You just gave that book back to the girl, I assume.
But she did say this one belongs to her though, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not shown anywhere or anything, so I thought she gave you that book. So
me too.
Where the fuck my crafting menu?
I thought it belonged to her.
Hey man, I'm all out of eating in that dungeon, man. Everybody dying and stuff like that. I was just surviving on level ups, to be honest. Like I just let my people die, and they still get XP when they dead. So I just waited for a level up to get that full recovery. So screw potions, man. Nobody needs that shit.
Yeah, you know
just
what?
Level up.
That was a very convenient thing to add to the game. The ability that everybody gets healed on level up. Very convenient.
Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that
Why
shit.
Don't you? I thought it was really convenient.
Nah, man. It's convenient, sure, but I don't know. It's just such a gamey thing.
It's a gamey thing. What do you think you're doing, brother? You're playing a game.
Man, I don't know, man. Like at first I thought it heals me after every combat because I was pretty much leveling up every combat. So I thought, okay, we got a every combat full heal thing, but nah. I don't know. I just don't like it as a mechanic. Like my games don't have it. If you want to heal, then use your fucking healing items, man. That's what they're for.
Yeah,
I'm holding all these potions.
I actually was wondering why I was getting back up to full life, like randomly. I'm like, that's weird, but it was, I guess, tied to the level up thing.
That.
Man, look, sometimes you need everything you get.
Andy, what you think about the leveling up and healing your?
I said it from the gate. Look. I'm almost kind of jealous. I didn't have it in my own game, but I think I can kind of see the reason why you do have that kind of issue with it, because then it kind of negates the need to have all these different potions and everything else. Plus, it takes
what I did.
Yeah, it Yeah, it takes that kind of stress off of you. To, okay, well, damn, now I got to try to negotiate this. Who's gonna get healed with what? And so it takes that. It takes the urgency away and the need for these type of things. All you got to do is just keep. All I got to do is just bam, 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 attack, attack,
I
attack.
mean, it might just be an early game issue, really, because the level up is so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, in the mid game or something like that, it might not be an issue because you don't level up every 3 battles and are full healed again. But yeah, in general, like the heal on level up or heal after combat, like it's convenient, sure. But why am I creating all these potion items if you'll never have a need to use them?
Okay, so you're saying that early on it seems broken, but later on it would definitely be a helping hand.
Yeah. As I said, I did the entire first dungeon like with no potions because who the fuck gives a shit? Like Riker can pretty much beat all the enemies by his own, so I just let the other 2 guys die. They will eventually level up after a fight or 2, so yeah, they full back health again. Don't need no potions.
Okay, yeah, real trying to say it's meant to be very easy early game as the player is learning, but yeah, you'll chug through potions later because you won't be leveling up as fast.
So I didn't even. Did you guys buy gear? Because I certainly didn't. Because I didn't want to bother like checking all the stats and everything. I just went with the starting gear.
I did
buy gear. Yeah.
I got everybody the adventure gear. I got everybody the adventure gear. I got the big shield for Riker when I was exploring around and stuff like that.
I didn't even equip the gear I found.
I don't like to buy gear. Because of the fact that you find the same gear in dungeons.
Yeah, I didn't even equip that. Like, I didn't even check what I found in all these chests. I just cruised through it. Fuck that. Don't need no equipment.
Jeez Louise, you just thugged your way through the whole thing with no... Dang, go on, man.
No problem, man. No problem. Like, I stopped at the Elven village then. Like that's my 2 hours. I came to the forest, like I finished the forest and reached the Elven village, and that's where I stopped. And but yeah, I had no gear. Like I just used whatever the characters had. I don't even know. Did they have anything? I don't even know. Are they base equipped or are they empty slots? I don't know.
No, you can equip stuff to them. Like you can equip I gave him the.
But do they have starting equipment actually, or
yeah, they do.
You know, many RPG Maker games just have like empty slots everywhere and just have a weapon.
Starting equipment. They got basic starting equipment. But other stuff like the mask and the accessories, they don't have. Well,
yeah, no, I didn't swap any weapons, any gear, anything. Like weapons, I don't care.
You get weapons, fine.
So
weapons
wait a minute, you thugged it all the way through with the rusty sword and the regular old spear and the small shield, and you just and the freaking hand.
No problem.
And you just.
It's easy, like even the golem, like it's no challenge at all.
What the hell, man?
There's no need for gear. Like I didn't even use any health potions. Like I didn't have any because I thought I could just craft some, but apparently I had no book anymore. So I just went through the whole thing on no potions and no gear. Fuck it.
Wow.
Leave it to Harley.
It's not hard.
Man. The RPG Maker thug, boy. I tell you, boy, he just
bad man.
That's why I'm saying, if you don't make me do your side quests, I'm just not gonna do them because there's no need to. If I can play your game for 2.5 hours and don't need no extra gear, man, why would I do side quests? I already have all these health potions from the chests, if I found any. But I think it's mostly like ingredients, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah, you get ingredients when you get from chests. Like you get like empty bottles.
Yeah, it looked like that, like empty bottles and ingredients. I didn't really like look at much at it, but it never looked like I got a lot of potions or anything.
No, you don't really get it much that many potions.
I mean, it
Sometimes
makes sense. You're supposed to craft them, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. At least Dungeon 1, it's not necessary to have anything. You can just breeze through that. It's not really a challenge.
So the early game was too easy for you, what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the tutorial was jank too.
Which tutorial?
Explain how it was jank.
It's not restricted enough. Like you have free reign over every menu point, right? So what happens is you do the first turn, and what I did is I didn't use attack. I used the boost and used the heavy attack skill. So what happened is turn 2 came around, and the tutorial told me to boost and use the attack and see what happens. Yeah, nothing happened because I didn't have a boost anymore because the game let me use it on turn 1. If I can use it, of course I'm gonna try and look what it does. So yeah, like either, I don't know, restrict my access to the boost in turn 1 or whatever. Like you have to restrict your player's access to the combat skills if you do a tutorial, because or otherwise you have to account for the possibility of your player not doing what you say. Right? The tutorial told me to attack, but I had the choice of not to. So what I did was use a heavy attack and use the boost. So turn 2 tutorial didn't work anymore because I already used my boost, and you're not recovering a boost after using a boost, right? You'll have one turn of cooldown for the boost recovery. So I couldn't use a boost and attack, so I didn't know what happens if I boost the attack skill, because the tutorial let me use it preemptively. So that was kind of jank. It's not too bad because the combat system is simple enough, so you can just kind of figure it out. But yeah, if it's not really done properly, I feel.
I didn't really notice that. I didn't really notice that. But you know what? Again, I mean, I can't knock you for it if that's what you noticed.
And I went extra critic on this game because apparently Tron said this is a 200% game, so kind of had to take a look extra carefully there, right?
Yeah, just overly scrutinize it.
Oh man, Simple Gaming is crazy.
He put that. You put the game underneath the microscope and like, okay, all right. Let me just see.
He said,
hey, if you make a trailer video.
When he played it, he won't even try to have a good time. He was just trying to find what's wrong with this game.
Man, of course I'm not trying to have a good time. I wouldn't play RPG Maker games if I was.
Oh, man, you had this game for the beginning. I'm gonna find that one
trailer
mistake to take away to make sure this game made 200%.
Man, if you make a trailer using Donald Trump AI voice to tell me how amazing your game is, and then your tutorial consists of 2 text boxes that don't work if I don't follow it, man, you know, it is what it is. If you brag on 200% game, you gotta deliver a 200% game.
He pulled the Nicarasu on you. He hard baited SG. I made him look extra hard for any buzz to this.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That man
I'm just
saying,
Nico.
It is all right. It's man, it is all right. Like, at least I didn't find any like game breaking bugs. Like there's some other bugs, like you can't really disable the fucking HUD, like the stats with the HP, MP, XP. Why is this shit even there? I don't know. Like, this is not a single actor game. Why do I need a HUD element telling me what my main character's level is? What's the point of that? Like, I still have to go into the menu to check my other character's health. Why do I need this one actor on the screen?
Oh, you're talking about the HUD
on the bottom left. Yeah, the weird. Why is this here? This is a party-based game. I don't need to see the status of one character.
I see what you're saying. But no, that makes sense.
This makes sense for an action game. This makes sense for a Zelda game, for an action game, or for a game that has a lot of on-map mechanics that can hurt you, like traps or whatever. Like, it makes sense if you have it there, but I don't know. It was kind of in the way, so the bug that it just pops back in however many times you disable it didn't really help.
So would you have
right, so I disable it, then you go into a battle and it's fucking back again. Like, thanks, man.
So would you have preferred if there was a smaller one to show just for the whole party that was there that showed like the HP, the MP, and that would be it? Would that have been better?
I don't know why it's there in the first place.
To show you when you about to level up and how much health you got.
Who gives a shit? Go into the menu if you want to see that. Like there is a whole ass status menu for that. You don't need to see it for one actor, right? If you want to check it, just check the menu. Well, why are you covering my screen up with HUD elements? Like, give me as much screen space for the game as you possibly can.
Okay, I guess I kind of see what you're
cluttered.
talking about. Yeah, that does kind of make sense. Because if you can do that, then it wouldn't make sense for you to have a status screen at that point, more or less, because you get all that.
Like you can cycle your like leading actor, right?
Yeah, you
There's
can.
a hotkey for that.
I've done that.
And I suppose the HUD switches actors too then.
Yeah, it does.
So you can kind of cycle through on map, but that's not really any more efficient than just opening the fucking main menu and go to the titles, to the status screen. It's not saving any time.
Boy.
So why is it there? Like, it's not an action game. I don't need to constantly see my HP in order to not die. So why is it there? I don't know. I can't see it. Like, in 2 hours, I haven't seen a single use of it.
Note to myself, do not put that in my head.
Well, it looks cool, but it serves no purpose.
Okay.
It's just covering the screen.
Yeah. I can't. Like I said before, I can't disagree. It's
It's always good when you guys cannot disagree. You and D7. If you can't disagree, I'm in the right. That's always good.
Not every time. Not every time. But you do make a very salient point. It is a very salient point.
Make a point. I mean, it makes sense.
It's a very salient point.
If you really wanted to have it, like if you really, really want to keep that thing, make it smaller because that shit is big on the screen.
Okay, well, at that point, then what's the point of having it at all? Then
I don't see a point. I don't think it has a point, and I think he should get rid of it. But if he really wanted to keep it for some reason, make it smaller so it's not covering like 1/6 of the screen. If you really wanted to keep it for some reason that eludes me, like I'm saying, get rid of it. Nobody needs it.
HUD menu, like on the screen like that.
What you saying?
Like,
when you switch it,
yeah. Show Max and Rikers.
Yeah, you can switch it.
You can do that. You could do a whole party screen, but that covers even more screen.
But make it smaller, like where it's like.
What for? What's the problem with just going into the menu?
You still have to go to the menu, the main menu, and heal and stuff. So yeah, I mean, makes I agree.
No
I don't
purpose.
think you need it.
Like if you just seen it too, like on the footage. If you open the main menu, it shows all characters in the party, including HP bars and everything.
Well, hold on. Wait. Maybe there is also a reason why that may be happening. Maybe later on in the game, there may be some kind of action elements. Maybe you had to interact with some kind of a puzzle. Maybe you have to interact with some kind of a trap, and that may be the reason why you're doing it. So maybe you might be rushing to judgment too quickly.
It doesn't really matter.
You create an event where it shows up to that particular point, so it's not there from the beginning of the game. So
it doesn't really matter. You can just do the same as you did with the compass. Just give me an option to like disable it, which is there, but it doesn't work. So in the future, it doesn't matter anymore because that bug will probably be fixed. So I can just press the T button and get rid of it. That's fine too, right? So anybody who wants it can have it, and I can get rid of it if I want so. But it's not working currently. Like you can disable it if you press T twice for some reason, but it always pops back up, I believe, after a battle or something. I'm not sure. Like it always comes back up for some reason.
You don't see the point of it.
Yeah, it has no point. Like unless Tron can come waltz in here and give me any reason for this thing to be there in the first place, I don't see it.
Padre 81 said he agreed with SG on this. In turn-based, I don't see the point of HUD on screen at all in non-action games.
Yeah.
I agree as well, except I don't feel strongly about it. I just kind of ignored it, but it didn't really bother me though. But it's still.
Yeah, of course. But like, what my problem was, you have 3 elements, right? You have this huge ass status bar, and then you have the compass, which I set on 100% because I'm a blind motherfucker, right? I need that shit big. I would prefer a mini map, but that apparently doesn't exist for RPG Maker. There's always this fucking compass menu only, and you got the quest window too. Like that's 3 relatively big HUD elements that don't need to be that big or even exist in the first place. Right? So I need my quest window, cool, that serves a purpose. I need that. The compass serves a purpose. I need that. I need to know where the heck I'm going. But I don't need the HP bar and HUD element. And if you want to add the rest of the party too, that's just covering even more space. Like I want to see your game and not your HUD.
Yeah. I got it, man.
I mean, look at Zelda games. Like, how much HUD is there? You have a tiny ass health bar with a bunch of hearts, and you have a mana bar, and that's it. That's all the HUD you get. And the rest is free space to actually look at the gorgeous game. Why are you covering that up?
Trying to argue with him. I'm trying to argue with him, but he's making valid points, my guy.
Yeah,
making valid points right now. He's speaking some real facts.
Yeah, because
I need to know what that music was. I recognize that music. Does anybody know like the first Forest track? I know that from somewhere, and I think it's a remix of some like official real music thing. I don't know, man, but I know that from somewhere, and I need to know what track that is. Because I can't remember.
I'd have to listen to that again and play it again.
Yeah, man. The first track right after you leave the first city in the forest. I know that from somewhere. And I was like, he did not steal some music from somewhere, but I'm sure I've heard that before.
I guess that I'd have to listen to it again and see it.
But somebody has to find out because it's bugging me.
It's causing you to wake up in the middle of the night screaming, sweat.
Yeah, exactly, man. I can't sleep because of our dying world, man. Can't sleep with this game.
Man, wake up.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't actually.
German.
I couldn't actually look at the intro movie, like the Our Dying World logo with the wings and shit, because it just didn't work. For some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, the video just literally stuck. Like I posted a screenshot on the forum.
Yeah,
that's where it stuck. It just doesn't move. I was sitting there expecting it could be a loading screen or something, but it doesn't do anything. Like unless you press a button, it just stuck like that. And I was like sitting here for 5 minutes waiting for the game to do anything. I was like ready to just say I can't play the game. It's not working.
I actually run into that when I play it. It didn't happen to me the first time I played it, but it does happen to me after the first time. So for some reason, I'm getting that same problem too. That video.
Yeah, I tried like 5 times.
It plays for like half of a second, and then you have to hit enter, and then it skips past it.
Yep.
Wait. I'm rapidly closing it and opening it again, and it's doing something a little different each time.
It's weird. Yeah, I wanted to see it though because I think that looks really neat what he did there, but I couldn't. Doesn't work.
Yeah. I tried it 8 times just now. It sometimes freezes. It sometimes goes all the way through without a problem. Yeah. So now I went through. Yeah. So out of the 8 times I tried it, it worked twice, and then froze halfway through the other times. So if I do it again and again and again, it will sometimes work. So I don't know.
Oh. That's something to look into at least. Wouldn't want to let that video go to waste, I guess.
Yeah, but I think he'll figure it out though. He'll get it. He'll work.
Yeah, I mean, he's dedicated. I'll give him that, and the game is pretty good by RPG Maker standards. It's well made, but I would say it's not Cascadia levels of well made.
Wow,
if that makes sense.
What? Doggone. Well, Cascadia is pretty good though.
It's solid by RPG Maker standards, but it's not like Cascadia solid, right? It's some in between there.
So like on a scale of like 1 to 10, Cascadia would be where?
Cascadia for me is an 11.
And so this game would be
this game would be like a 8.5.
You know what?
That's good for a simple game. And that's
Yeah, man, it's a good rating.
score.
It's not a bad game. It is well made, aside from a couple of like typos and minor bugs and some things that could be improved, like visually. It's a pretty good game. I did have a good time with it. Like I played for 2 hours, which doesn't happen a lot with these games, as you know. So it's pretty well made. It's a commercial worthy title that deserves a price tag. But like, it's not Cascadia levels of commercial, because Cascadia for me, like, what in terms of RPG Maker, Cascadia is not an RPG Maker game. Cascadia is a indie game. But
Wow.
it's not in that RPG Maker category anymore.
Sheesh. Oh, go on.
Dang.
Man, oh,
It-
man.
That's how I think about it. And Our Dying World is good, but it's still in that RPG Maker category for various reasons, like the art a little bit. Like the art, I feel in-game could have been a little better. And of course the RTP looking sprites that are just like a little bit bigger. I didn't really like the looks of those. Then the lack of any good looking action sequences. And what else? Yeah, the minor bugs too, of course. But yeah, all that makes it an 8.5 and not a 10.
Man. Okay, well. All right, well, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess we done got to the part of the show where we actually give the game a price based upon our experiences. And seeing how Harlequin was the last to speak, I'll actually let him go first. So, based on your whole 2-hour experience of the game in its totality, as you played it, what would you give the price for this game?
Ich bin gerade am gucken, ob der irgendwie siftet, aber. Wait, did you talk to me right now?
I did.
Man, I was expecting somebody else to take the turn. Man, I'm exhausted. I gotta breathe. I can't talk so much.
Okay.
So what were we, a price for this game?
Yeah, based on your experience, what would you say is a good price for this game? Now, what would you pay for it based on what you've played?
I mean, it's pretty good. I just didn't like the sudden like story. Like the story felt a little bit like too much of a cliff to me, from just getting to be an adventurer to suddenly saving the world and meeting an angel, and that was just too casually. Like, if you met an angel, you wouldn't just be casually going to the bar with him and going to save the world like your best buddies or whatever. So that was kind of weird, but in all, I would say it's an easy $10, like, for right now.
Okay.
10 to 15, yeah, 15 tops.
So what's the maximum then? 15 for you? So $14.99 is what you pay
maximum is 15. Like, considering everything I have gripes with the game right now, I mean, yeah, with right now, that's a 15 man.
Oh wow, okay, sweet. Okay, so D7, based on your impressions from your 2-hour, and also your several times playing this, what would be your impression of it? Don't let the German beat you, man. Come on, don't let the German beat you.
I accidentally priced this twice because I feel like I feel like this game can make it to like a console like the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. So I did price it twice. For the Steam side, I did price at $14.99.
Okay.
On the Steam side, but I feel like it could go, it could make the almost premium price for the Nintendo Switch at $24.99.
So which number? So which number you gonna go with then?
Since it's not on console, or there's no no announcement that it will make it on console, so I'm just gonna go with the $14.99 price point for right now.
All right, and Doug, based on your experience for the whole time you've played it, what would the price be?
For me, it'd probably be $9.99. The presentation of it was good, and the gameplay I thought was good, and everything like that. I'm really wasn't feeling the story very much though, and for me, maybe it's just a slow burn and it picks up later. But for me, that was my main sticking point, and I'm one of those players on RPGs that. I'm actually more heavily tilted towards story than gameplay. Like, just that's my bias. So I would have liked to see the story pick up a little bit quicker than what I saw. And like it felt like there wasn't urgency for why these things were occurring. So that's what I would have liked to see a little more right out the gate in the beginning. That first scene was a little bit of action, but again, when you don't know who any of those people are, there's a little bit of context that's missing there. Something in the beginning that leads the player to continue the journey. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, like a storyline relevant, urgent reason.
I get you.
So for now, it would be $9.99. It could go up if things change. But that's where I stand.
Okay. So now for myself, based on what I played and as I experienced of the whole game, I think I would go with, say, even with the slow, it seemed like maybe the pacing was probably a little bit off. That was the issue. The pace of the story was a little bit slow. But I think everything else with it, I think I would go with $12.99. I think I would go with $12.99 with it in general, because this is definitely, you can definitely see that there's a lot of effort was put into this, a lot of thought about the player experience was put into this. Also, maybe some love for Octopath Traveler as well, and the system. Again, because maybe I didn't really get all caught up so much in the buzz about Octopath Traveler like that. I think the battle system that they used, I definitely did like it, because it at least to me, it added maybe a little bit extra strategy to it. So now you can actually customize your attack style to try to be the most effective against whichever enemy you're facing. Like, say, with Max, right? With Max, all you could actually do was just basically just pierce like the bees with it. Like, his other weapon wasn't with anything, at least, and this is so far as I saw, didn't have any of the effect. But you could use the boost to boost his earth attack, which I thought, okay, another great way for him to actually be used in the game, aside from just attack. So,
oh no,
what?
Expose weakness.
Yeah, okay.
All you gotta do with Max, expose the weakness.
You're right. But I for some reason, I didn't feel the need to do that. I felt like maybe just I myself, I just felt like, okay, well, maybe let's just go through the whole experience of the battle and see what it is, kind of discovering it myself. Maybe that's what
my thought process was just like, I can use this every turn, right? It's cheap. It has no cooldown. And I thought to myself, if I just scan every fucking enemy in the early game, and if I happen to encounter them again, I will never have to look for a weakness again, right? Because I already have it. Already got all of them unlocked. Get that shit out of the way I can fight.
The master, boy, you just love you some cheese, boy, I tell you. You love you some cheese. But yeah, but I think for all of that, for the whole experience of it, the mapping was great. It definitely rewarded exploration, like I said before. I think it was a great way of getting people to feel like they had, they accomplished something. Like, oh, hey, what's this? So it gives me the sense of discovery every time when I was playing the map, and it made me want to say, okay, what else is here? Like, I kind of go for like a little Easter egg hunt. Okay, what's over here? What's over here? What's over there? What's there? That's why it kind of took me so long to kind of, like you seen in the gameplay, me just walking around, because it was fun to look around and find stuff on the map. So for me, yeah, $12.99, almost $13. So we put this all together, add it all up, we come to $52.96, and we divide that by 4, and we come to a price of almost $13.25. So yeah, I can link you to track, SG, but I want this to be rent free in your head a little bit.
And you're overestimating yourself here. I will already have forgotten this as soon as One Man Indie hits like the stop streaming button.
But
I have one point I forgot. Fuck English. What do you speak? The looting in this game was fun for me because it's very well set up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you can loot always has this cogwheel.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's consistent. You always know every barrel is lootable. Mm-hmm. Every like vase is lootable. It's consistent, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to bother clicking on every fucking thing. You already know if you enter a map, you can already see what is lootable and what not. And not a lot of games do this right, but this one does.
Mm. Something to think about.
To point that out.
Yeah, you did do a good job with that. You made things that actually lootable, and you let people know what that is. That's something to think about as a dev, as myself as well. So
yeah, I think it's very important because a lot of RPG games don't do this. They either have nothing aside from chests, or you have to go around and click on every fucking thing because there could be something, and that's annoying.
But don't you want to have that sense of discovery? It's like, aha, so there was something in here. Like, you don't want to have that.
It's not a sense of discovery, though. If I have to run through every house, clicking on every shelf and every book and every whatnot, it's not a sense of discovery. If I just so happen to find 10 gold in a shelf, like, how is that a sense of discovery? Fuck that 10 gold. I could have slain 20 monsters in that time and had like triple the amount of gold.
Man, oh man, well, I tell you.
It's not fun clicking on everything. Like, you can see it in your footage right now. You running around clicking on every damn thing.
Oh, because I'm used to doing it. I mean,
but how is that fun?
It wasn't anything.
You do it because you're used to it.
Yeah.
But that's not fun gameplay.
Maybe.
You can see it, bam, chest. Bam, barrel, bam, vase. You can see in one glance, this is lootable. Bam, get your loot, get out of there. That's how it's supposed to be, and not click on every fucking thing.
I don't know, man. Maybe I just like to know when I was younger, that I had to do that way. So maybe I just got used to it.
Yeah, and then, I assume too, because these 7 lost their stuff too for some reason.
But it's the sense of discovery,
Must have been the
man.
olden days.
It's the sense of discovery, man. When you go through, you click on, you say, aha, so there was something in there. Because it makes you think, because of all the RPGs that I have played, it makes you think, okay, well, if I interact with this, there's a chance that there could be something in there. So, because you had it in Zelda, because not every time when you chop the bush in Zelda, there's going to be a rupee in there. Sometimes it will be empty. So you get into what's going on.
Are the silhouettes or placeholders?
Oh,
That's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, you know what? I've noticed that.
Or the NPCs.
I've noticed that with every kind of game that uses, I guess, this kind of plugin, I guess, it seems that way, that there seems to be like silhouettes that are left
And
there.
the silhouettes are for people that are not important.
But I think, is that part of this? Is that like part of the actual like plugin? Like the plugin has to have something there. So
no, I don't even think it's a plugin. It almost looks like just a show picture to me. Like most Bust plugins have them on top of the message window, but not behind it, right? But in this game, you can see that the Bust is still behind the message window. So I don't know if it's a plugin or not, but like silhouette NPCs is like a common thing in visual novels. Like everyone who's not important is usually just a silhouette.
Okay, so
they're not placeholders. NPCs that have full conversation with the party have that.
Okay, so is that a part of a plugin, or did you just put that in deliberately, Real Triumph? But anyone's voice will have
deliberately.
Probably a male or female shadow bus.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I get it then. All right. Well, I assumed it was some kind of something with a plugin, but I've seen that before on another game. What other game did I see that on? It was recent too. I believe. There was a game that you played, D7, that had the same kind of thing, I think, or was it something that we played recently, something like that?
I played a lot of games with that.
Yeah, so
I was just wondering for this game particularly because it do look weird talking to a shadow. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had to ask.
I disagree.
You don't think it's weird to talk to a shadow?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like
I'm kind of used to it. Like, but it's a good.
Hold on. So when I'm used to doing something that it's something from the old school, it's ancient. But now that you're used to something, it's understandable.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I've seen it before, and I think it's a good way to like cut down on cost, right? Like, imagine if you have to commission every fucking NPC that you talk to like once in the entire game. Because it's just some fucking NPC on the road, right? That costs a lot of money, and the NPC is not important. He doesn't need a face. He just needs to give you the idle chatter or quest information that you need, and then you never talk to this guy again. Why does he need a bus, right?
Well, for me, you know, I don't do the busts, but I do give every NPC a face. But the NPC faces though might be more like B movie or like sub second tier looking faces, but I usually give them a face of some kind. and then there have been people that I've paid to make like high quality faces for like some of the main characters and stuff like that. But then like I have my own generator that I use in Photoshop, and I just make a really quick face if it's an NPC. And that's why I also do the aliens, because it's also easier for me to make alien faces than human faces. Because there's
and it's also just a face. Like a face is much less work than a bus, right? Yeah. So I can see that, and especially if you use like RTP generator characters, it's easy to make faces.
Julia, you gotta be consistent, Julia. So you have to draw each and every NPC face in the game. I don't care. Take 10 years. You gotta do it. Beat this game.
Doggone, man. Shit.
I gotta say though, I'm using phases for all NPCs too, though. But it's just because they come with the pack, right?
See. You gotta walk it like you talking, brother.
I would use it for that, DJ. You know, that's probably if I use the shadow figure, it's for characters ain't been revealed yet.
That makes more sense. I think unless like that's like
yeah, it's more of a visual novel thing, to be honest. Like not a lot of RPG games do it, but yeah, I think it's okay to do it like that. If the character is not really like a important character that plays part in the like main story or whatever, or even the side quest, I don't really care if you get a face or not. I'm talking to this NPC like once in my entire playthrough. I don't care how he looks.
You don't need to pay for your masters.
Doggone.
Don't go to college. Yeah. That money you would spend on college, use that to make your game. Then you'll make more money selling your game than what you would do in a career from graduating from college.
Yeah, because a trade.
The sad thing is, it's probably even true.
no, it is, because a trade will get you in the. You have less time for school. You actually get into the job that quickly, and you can pay off your debt that much sooner. He ain't D7 ain't lying. I said the same thing myself. If people actually worried about, if you want to actually get a decent job, make some money without having to worry about having to be swamped underneath debt, you're gonna have to put your pride to the side, get your hands dirty, and learn how to put something together.
Self-employment is the best. Is the best way to go.
Yes, sir. You're gonna have to do it.
Or just make some titty games. That works too.
For 24,000. Oh my god. This dude, man. Every time you keep saying that, I was like, this is ridiculous. That is the best example of the thirst being real. I'm not even gonna lie.
Anyway,
I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm gonna make a not safe for work game. I swear to God, man. That sounds like free money to me.
And you know what? I'm almost tempted to do that, but I can't, man. I can't. It's just it just seems.
I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit.
Or Realtron, use AI art. Use AI art to draw in those remaining busts.
You could, yeah. You
I
can.
wouldn't. I wouldn't do it.
Oh, and wait a minute, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Because the legality is not really on a safe state right now.
What are you
don't
talking
wanna-
about?
It's totally safe.
Yeah,
It's
I was like, what the heck you talking
Is it?
about?
Totally
Is it
safe.
now?
Yeah, it's totally safe. Don't let
I don't know.
Don't let the haters. Do not let the haters that be talking about.
Hey
this-
man,
this-
I'm not an AI hater.
It's smart.
I don't give a crap.
Well, I'm not.
I'm
not
just
saying,
I'm
not
just saying
you.
AI art is probably not copyrightable. So if you have busts made by AI in your game, I'm allowed to take those and put them in my own game. And you can't do jack about it.
I don't know about all that though, but
Hey, right now it's like that. It's not copyrightable, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
which-
using AI art for my characters.
Which really doesn't bother me. I'm kind of on my own. I'm just
You don't count. You give away your game assets for free anyway, so you don't count.
yeah, why doesn't he count? He's the man that's doing it. Let
Hey,
the man
he's
talk.
giving
Let him
it
talk.
away for free anyway, so of course you don't care.
Give me the
But I
mic.
pay
Give
a
me the
lot of
mic.
money for my
Give me the mic,
character
Carl.
art,
Stop
so you know.
hogging the mic, man. Give me the mic. Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead. You say what you were saying, brother. Preach on it.
No, on the copyright thing, I think that it's all art is based on previous art, and I use AI art in my game, not for everything. It's a mix of I've paid people to make stuff, a mix of I made this myself, and a mix of I used AI for this thing in my game, and I just kind of tape it all together. But I just use the tool that works, but then I'll even give away the stuff for free that I paid somebody to make, and go for it. I dare you to make a better game with the same assets faster than I can. I dare you.
If only you had non-sci-fi tiles, I would actually go and do it.
That just means you gotta step up.
I mean,
brother.
all
You
I'm
gotta be
saying
better.
is like AI art is a hot water right now in the public. Like, if you should think about it twice if you really wanna get the Twitter hate mob on your feet because you use some fucking AI art in your game.
Man, I've done
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
I ain't worried.
I
about
don't
that.
give a crap about it. Like, I'm not against AI or anything. I don't fucking care.
You want to know why?
But
If say people they want to draw hate, all you're doing because in order for you to hate, you have to say my name. You have to put it in there. All you're doing is making me stronger anyway.
yeah, you can tell yourself that.
It's only because if they have to do it, they have to show some kind of example. That means I got to be in the public conversation at some point or another.
That's like Nerd Mansion. Like, this guy was happy that a Chinese website stole his fucking game, and he said, like, "Oh, that's free publicity, man. Get the fuck out of here."
That's something different. That's something completely different.
That's the
Somebody taking your
same
game to-
thing.
No, that is not. No, completely different.
The first day that my game got released, it got pirated to a bunch of Chinese sites. I don't really care. It didn't really affect anything. If somebody's gonna buy your game, they're gonna buy your game for the convenience of adding it to their Steam library or their Nintendo Switch library or whatever. And if they're not, they're not. And it doesn't really matter either way. I mean,
To be honest,
Yeah, it's not like you can do anything about it anyway.
Yeah.
But Jesus fucking Christ, don't be happy about it. Like, what?
because honestly, let's just be honest about it. There's no really such thing as bad publicity. You could spin that around as that a Chinese site XYZ stole my game and did this, that, and the other. Now, the reason why it says that is because your name is now in the public conversation now. Now your
It's
name is
not.
attached
They're
to
gonna
that.
fucking not even show your name on there. They just show the game name. And
No.
that's it.
But
You think they credit
when,
you?
No. When you expose it is what's happening. Because the first time it comes with, oh, is this a scam? And what's happening is a lot of Chinese sites will do their XYZ and it'll come up in the conversation and your game may come up in there because you were a victim of it and you let the world know that it happened.
None of us has the reach to do that.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to have the reach. Just put it out there.
What does it do if I'm a Chinese website and I steal your fucking game and you expose me on your, what was it, not even 1K Twitter followers account? Who the fuck gives a shit?
I don't know,
That's
brother.
the thing. Neither of us has the reach that exposing these kinds of things would have any effect at all.
I think it does. It will, even a little bit.
I think it has the effect is negligible. I think you just have a higher chance of somebody out there that will play your game by downloading it from a pirated site.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but it probably not though. But what I'm saying is, it's just whatever. It's
yeah, of course, it's kind of whatever. But I wouldn't be happy about it. Like,
yeah,
are you happy that somebody stole your shit?
If it's good enough to steal, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. I would be whatever about it. Like if I found like Dungeon Rummage on a Chinese website, like first of all, there's nothing I can do anyway. Like what can I do? I can try and leave a comment on there or whatnot, but I cannot press any legal action over there in China.
I've usually left a funny comment like, "I'm glad you guys enjoy our game," and blah blah blah. Like I just say something like that.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, you
baby.
can take it with humor, but it's like don't go around saying, "Oh, that's good publicity," because it's just not.
Yeah, it can be. You just got to think about it.
I think it helps rather than hurts, but I think it's negligible.
It
I
can
don't
be.
know, man.
But anyway,
I don't know.
as with all good things, this too must come to an end. I do want to thank everybody who came out. I want to thank everybody who came in the stream. The Real Tron, Padra, Clutch, Julia, Bandito, Riggy, DJ, the other DJ. We got here right the Harlequin. You already did that, but you don't count. You already here already. So yeah,
What you mean?
the Ace of Aces, Bird Bunch. You know what I'm saying? Just hush, man, hush. I don't want to hear nothing out your mouth. Anyway, Gold. Yeah, all those great people who came out, all the people who are going to be coming in the background when you hear the replay, and also those who maybe want to hear this on the transmissions of the Omniverse podcast, this will actually come up later on tonight after I get through editing it. Of course, feel free to stop by, give it a listen. Again, I am just a few away from actually getting to the point where I can actually monetize that. If you don't mind, become a listener. It actually helps your brother out, and it's absolutely 100% free. But on that note, make sure to follow these brothers down here as well. Follow D7, follow not Padra, follow Doug, and also follow Harlequin over here. Even though he doesn't want to do any more game reviews, he does put out some good stuff. He also got a Kickstarter coming up soon for his own game coming up, and he also released the newest game in the guess what, the Dungeon Rummage series, which was the entry called Dungeon Rummage Rise of the Allies, I believe is what you call it, right? For that game?
Yeah, the jam game. Yeah.
Give it a play, give it a rating, vote for it, help push it to the top, as he is one of us from the RTP. And on that note, I want to thank you again for coming out. I hope you have a great day. God bless you. God love you. And God willing, I will see you again on the other side. Bye-bye.